Have you ever stepped into a room filled with people and suddenly felt like you didn't belong? Like you were a puzzle piece that just didn't fit? Perhaps it's not merely shyness or introversion. Maybe it goes deeper. Maybe you've always sensed that there's something unique about your journey, a difference that others don't quite grasp. If you resonate with this feeling, you've arrived at the right place. There's a reason why those of us who consider ourselves chosen ones often feel this way. It's not because we're antisocial or flawed in some way. Rather, it's a reflection of our special calling, one that allows us to experience the world differently. However, this distinction frequently leads to feelings of isolation, of not quite fitting in with the crowd. In today's message, we'll delve into why this happens. We'll explore the psychological, spiritual, and social dimensions that contribute to the challenges faced by chosen ones in large groups. By the end, you will understand why you feel the way you do, and, more importantly, that it's perfectly okay. If you've ever felt different from everyone else, longed for something deeper, or struggled to find your place in a world that can be perplexing, I invite you to stay with me. You're not alone in this, and together we will unveil the truths about why chosen ones often stand apart from the masses. This journey is not just about fitting into society. It's about embracing your true self and recognizing the unique path that God has designed for you. Let's discuss something that might resonate with you: your sensitivity to the world around you. If you find yourself easily overwhelmed by loud sounds, bright lights, or even just the energy of a crowded space, know that this isn't just in your head. This sensitivity is genuine and something many chosen ones experience. Being a chosen one often means you have a heightened awareness of the spiritual realm. Your senses are not only keen physically but also spiritually, making everyday situations feel intense or even overwhelming. Imagine entering a bustling store or attending a large gathering. What might merely be background noise for others can seem like a constant, distracting buzz for you. It's akin to trying to converse with God while a television blares in the background. It's entirely understandable that you might crave solitude to find some peace and quiet. This sensitivity is not a weakness. It's a testament to your spiritual awareness. Your spirit is finely tuned to perceive things that others might overlook, and while it can be a beautiful gift, it often means you require more space to recharge and connect with God without all the distractions. It's completely okay to seek that time alone. In fact, it's what makes your journey as a chosen one profoundly unique and purposeful. Now, let's explore how you replenish your energy. If you often feel more at ease when you're by yourself than in a crowd, you might identify as an introvert. However, it's more than just being introverted. It's about discovering strength and clarity in those quiet moments of contemplation. As a chosen one, you are on a distinct spiritual journey that often necessitates deep thinking, prayer, and personal reflection. It is during these tranquil times that you can connect most intimately with God and gain insight into your purpose. Engaging in large gatherings can sometimes draw you away from that vital connection, making it difficult to hear God's voice or feel His presence. Consider how Jesus frequently withdrew from the crowds to pray alone. He needed that solitude to connect with His Father, to recharge, and to reflect on His mission. You are no different. Your desire for solitude isn't about avoiding social interaction. It's about ensuring you stay spiritually grounded and aligned with God's will for your life. When you take time by yourself, it's not merely about resting. It's about creating space for reflection, prayer, and listening to God's guidance. In those quiet moments, you will discover the strength and direction necessary to continue navigating your unique path. Let's take a moment to reflect on what the Bible teaches about spending time alone with God. A powerful example from Scripture is the life of Jesus. Despite being surrounded by people, teaching, healing, and ministering, Jesus frequently withdrew to quiet places to pray. In Luke 5:16 we read, "But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed." This was not a one-off occurrence. Jesus made it a regular practice to escape the crowds to be alone with his Father. He realized that in order to maintain his spiritual strength and focus on his mission, he needed these moments of solitude. In your own life as a chosen one, you may feel similarly compelled to step away from life's busyness to engage in prayer and reflection. This isn't about being antisocial or avoiding others. It mirrors Jesus' example. It's about acknowledging that your spiritual journey requires that you dedicate moments of quietness where you can hear God's voice more distinctly and recharge your spirit. If you find that social events or busy settings challenge your ability to stay connected with God, that's completely normal. It indicates that your spirit is attuned to something greater and infinitely more meaningful than day-to-day distractions. Your need for solitude does not signify social awkwardness or weakness. Rather, it reflects a profound yearning to remain close to God. Think of these quiet times as essential for recharging your spiritual batteries. Just like your phone requires a charger to keep running, your spirit needs consistent connection with God to remain vibrant and strong. By spending time alone, you ensure that you are always in tune with His voice and the direction He is calling you toward in your life. So, embrace those moments of solitude. Use them to deepen your divine connection by listening, reflecting, and aligning your life with God's purpose. Let's address the unique challenges associated with being a chosen one, especially in the context of leadership. If you've ever felt the weight of responsibility on your shoulders, you're certainly not alone. A multitude of chosen ones feels called to lead in various ways, whether that entails offering spiritual guidance, providing support and wisdom, or merely being a beacon of light in a dark world. Yet, this leadership comes with its burdens, which can sometimes feel quite heavy. Being a leader, especially in a spiritual context, transcends mere decision-making or authority. It involves shouldering the weight of the expectations, needs, and sometimes even the struggles of others. People may look to you for guidance, advice, or comfort because they perceive something distinct in you, a deeper connection to God. While this is indeed an honorable responsibility, it can also be exhausting. Just reflect on Moses from the Bible. He was chosen by God to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, a monumental task laden with immense responsibilities. Even he needed time alone with God to recharge and seek guidance. The burden of leadership was substantial, prompting him to retreat to quiet spaces for prayer and connection with God. As a chosen one, you might discover that social settings or large groups drain your energy, particularly when you are consistently in a position of giving, be it emotional support, spiritual advice, or simply being an attentive listener. In these moments, remember that it's crucial to step back, take a breath, and allow yourself the time necessary to recharge. It's perfectly okay to acknowledge that leadership comes with burdens, and that feeling tired or overwhelmed at times is normal. What truly matters is recognizing the importance of self-care. Taking the time to nurture your spirit is essential for you to properly fulfill your role as a leader. By setting aside moments to be with God, you not only recharge your own spirit, but also ensure that you can lead with wisdom, strength, and compassion. So, don't hesitate to step back when you feel the need. Your leadership is invaluable, and caring for yourself is a vital part of being the leader that God has called you to be. Let's explore a powerful biblical example that resonates with the experience of being a chosen one. Moses. Moses was chosen by God to guide the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt and into the Promised Land. A monumental task. He was tasked with leading an entire nation through some of life's most challenging trials, while bearing the heavy burden of their expectations, complaints, and fears. What stands out in Moses' journey, though, is how he handled this tremendous responsibility. Surrounded by people for most of his days, Moses understood that he needed to find solitude in order to connect with God. The Bible tells us that Moses would regularly leave the camp and go to the tent of meeting, where he engaged in direct conversation with God. It was during these quiet moments of solitude that Moses found the guidance and strength he needed to lead his people effectively. His example serves as a reminder that even the most capable leaders require time alone with God. Leadership, especially in a spiritual sense, can be remarkably draining. It's easy to become engrossed in others' needs, but Moses illustrates the importance of looking after your own spiritual health. By withdrawing to a serene place, he was able to recharge and gain the wisdom necessary for his challenging journey as a chosen leader. You might feel a similar call to step away from the hustle and bustle, seeking your own tent of meeting to connect with God. This isn't merely an indulgence, it's critical. Like Moses, you need those periods of solitude to hear God's voice clearly, to receive His guidance, and to regain the strength needed to fulfill your divine purpose. So when the urge for solitude arises, consider Moses. Remember that even the strongest leaders require time with God away from the noise to remain aligned with His path. In those moments, you aren't just recharging, you are syncing with God's plan just as Moses did. Now, let's discuss something that likely resonates with you: the yearning for deep, meaningful connections. As a chosen one, you may struggle to connect with others at a superficial level. While some effortlessly glide through small talk or thrive in large social gatherings, you might desire something deeper, connections that reach beneath the surface, touching the soul. This yearning for meaningful relationships is an expression of your spiritual essence. You seek not just to pass time, but to engage in genuine conversations and cultivate authentic relationships that align with your beliefs and values. However, finding those kinds of connections can be challenging in a society that often prioritizes quantity over quality. It may sometimes feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. This difficulty can lead to feelings of loneliness or frustration when surrounded by people who may not fully comprehend you. Yet, this quest for meaningful relationships should be embraced, not disheartened. Your longing for deeper connections reflects your spiritual depth and signifies that you refuse to settle for less than what truly nurtures your soul. Consider Jesus and His disciples. Among all the individuals He could have chosen, Jesus selected a small group of 12 to be His closest companions. These relationships were rich, based on trust, shared experiences, and a unified purpose. Jesus didn't seek the largest crowd. Instead, He aimed for individuals who would truly understand and support His mission. As a chosen one, your journey is akin to this. It's not about the size of your circle of acquaintances, but rather about finding those few who resonate with your spirit. So, don't be disheartened if it takes time to discover your people. The connections you're searching for are worth the wait, and when you find them, they will enrich your life in ways that transcend the ordinary. Let's now address a topic that many chosen ones face but don't often speak about: feelings of misunderstanding and isolation. If you've ever felt as if people just don't understand you, or that you're walking a path different from those around you, know that you are not alone. This is a common experience for those on a unique spiritual journey. As a chosen one, your perspective on life often diverges from that of those surrounding you. You might perceive things more deeply, feel emotions more intensely, and prioritize your spiritual growth over what others might regard as more pressing. Because of this, it's easy for people to misinterpret or not fully grasp your thoughts and choices, which can lead to feelings of isolation, as if you are living in a different reality than those around you. However, here is the profound truth. Being misunderstood does not imply that you are wrong. It doesn't mean you need to alter who you are to fit in. In fact, those unique qualities that set you apart are likely what make you special and uniquely qualified for your calling. Even Jesus experienced misunderstanding from those around him. People sometimes struggled to understand his teachings or his mission, and he faced rejection and isolation because of it. Yet, Jesus remained steadfast in his purpose, even if that meant navigating a solitary path. If your journey as a chosen one leads you down a similar road, remember, it's not always easy to be different, and it can be painful when others fail to understand you. However, take solace in the knowledge that you are not alone in this experience. God understands you fully, even when others do not. He sees your heart, your intentions, and your struggles. Feeling isolated at times is acceptable, but do not allow that isolation to breed doubt about your path. Instead, let it remind you that you are on a distinctive journey, one that not everyone is meant to comprehend. Embrace who you are and acknowledge the path you walk, recognizing that even if others do not understand you, God certainly does. And that is what holds ultimate significance. Let's turn our attention to what the Bible articulates about walking a path not understood by everyone. As a chosen one, you're likely familiar with the feeling of being set apart, of treading a road unlike most others. Though this can feel lonely at times, the Bible provides comfort and perspective. One verse that speaks profoundly to this experience is Matthew 7:13-14, in which Jesus says, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." This verse emphasizes that the path to true life, the life God has envisioned for you, is not the one taken by the majority. It is a narrow path, often traversed by only a few, but it is the road that leads to the deepest fulfillment and sense of purpose. As a chosen one, you are on that narrow path, one that calls for courage, faith, and at times solitude. It isn't always easy, nor is it always understood by others, but it is the route that leads to the life God has planned for you. The occasional loneliness is not a sign of being lost. Rather, it's an indicator that you're exactly where you need to be. Throughout the Bible, we see examples of those who walked this narrow path. Prophets, disciples, and Jesus himself often separated themselves from the crowd to follow divine guidance, despite the difficulties associated with those choices. Their commitment to God's calling always resulted in divine faithfulness and reward. So, when you encounter feelings of isolation or misunderstanding, take heart. You're in good company. You're traversing the same road walked by many faithful servants of God. It's a narrow path that, while lonely at times, ultimately leads to a life infused with God's presence and purpose, something worth cherishing as you navigate your journey, even when the going gets rough. Now, let's discuss the beauty and significance of solitude. For many chosen ones, solitude is not simply a preference, it's a necessity. In those quiet moments alone, you can truly connect with God, reflect on your journey, and discover the peace that the world often fails to provide. Society tends to paint solitude as a negative experience, encouraging an existence filled with crowds, constant busyness, and perpetual engagement. Yet the reality is that solitude is a tremendous gift. It's the time when you can step back from distractions and simply be still. In that stillness, you can hear God's voice more clearly and feel His presence more profoundly. Jesus often withdrew to desolate places to pray. He recognized the value of solitude. It wasn't solely about escaping the crowds, but about cultivating space for His relationship with God. In those quiet moments, Jesus found the strength, guidance, and peace He needed to fulfill His mission. If Jesus valued solitude, how much more do we? By embracing solitude, you are not merely pausing. You are entering a sacred space where you and God can meet. Each moment spent in solitude is an opportunity for refreshment and renewal. Embrace this gift, for in doing so, you strengthen your connection with God and open yourself up to the invaluable insights that come forth in those profound, quiet times. It's a moment to pause, to pray, to listen. In these sacred times, God often speaks the loudest, not through clamor, but through the soft whisper that tugs at your heart. Don't shy away from solitude. Instead, embrace it as an essential component of your spiritual journey. It is in the stillness that you'll uncover the clarity, peace, and strength needed to follow the path laid out for you by God. Remember, solitude is not loneliness. It's a holy opportunity to connect with God in an intimately profound way. While solitude holds a great significance, it's also crucial to recognize that we are not meant to traverse this journey in isolation. As a chosen one, you may find it challenging to relate to just anyone. You seek something deeper and more genuine. That's why discovering the right community is vital. This community isn't just about being surrounded by people, it's about being among the right individuals. Those who genuinely comprehend your journey, share your values, and encourage your walk with God. They are the ones who can lend support in difficult times and rejoice alongside you in moments of divine intervention. Finding such a community may take time, and that is perfectly fine. It's more worthwhile to wait for those few individuals who truly resonate with you than to fill your life with a crowd that doesn't. Remember that Jesus chose 12 disciples, not the largest group available. He sought out those who were prepared to walk alongside him, to join in his mission, and to strengthen their faith collectively. So, where can you seek out this type of community? It could be within a small church group, an online gathering, or even through a couple of close friends who share your beliefs and values. The key is to pursue relationships founded on mutual respect, shared faith, and a true desire to grow closer to God together. Don't lose heart if it takes a while. The right community is worth the wait. When you discover it, you'll sense the power in walking your journey alongside those who deeply understand you. This dynamic offers a sense of belonging, encouragement, and strength that can make a significant impact. Keep your heart open and pray for God to guide you toward the right individuals. When you meet them, treasure those relationships. They are gifts from God, meant to bolster you on your journey as a chosen one. Let's take a moment to draw inspiration from the Word of God. Life as a chosen one isn't without its challenges. There may be times when the road feels endlessly long, the burdens seem insurmountable, and the feeling of being misunderstood or alone weighs heavily on your heart. In such moments, it's crucial to remember that God is with you through every step. Proverbs 18:24 tells us that a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. This verse underscores that the value lies not in having a vast network of acquaintances, but in forging those few relationships that truly matter, those who stand by you through thick and thin. More importantly, it calls to mind that God Himself is that friend, always closer than a brother. No matter how isolated you might feel at times, you are never alone. God is always by your side, guiding, comforting, and providing the strength you need. His presence is ever present, and His love is steadfast. So, hold fast to that truth, especially when the journey feels arduous. Lean into God's presence. May He be your refuge, your strength, and your constant help in times of need. Remember, you have been chosen by Him, and He will never abandon you or forsake you. With God at your side, you can confront any challenge that arises. As we approach the conclusion of this video, let's revisit what we've discussed. We began by reflecting on why those who are chosen often feel the need to step back from large crowds. We explored the unique challenges that accompany your spiritual journey, from sensitivity to overwhelming stimuli to the profound need for reflection and the heavy burden of leadership. We recognized that these are not weaknesses but integral aspects of what make your path truly special and meaningful. We also addressed the yearning for meaningful connections and acknowledged that it is perfectly acceptable to seek deeper relationships, even if it means having fewer people in your life. We recognized how being misunderstood can be painful, yet it signifies that you are walking a unique and significant path. Most importantly, we anchored our reflections in biblical truths, reaffirming that even Jesus sought solitude and that God comprehends our need for quiet reflection, always guiding us, even during the loneliest moments. I encourage you to take the insights we've shared today and reflect on them in your own life. Consider how you can embrace your need for solitude, deepen your relationship with God, and seek those meaningful connections that truly nourish your spirit. If this video has provided comfort or insight, I invite you to share it with someone who might benefit from these words. We're all on this journey together, and sharing our experiences can profoundly impact others. If you haven't already, please consider joining Chosen One's Sanctuary. We're cultivating a community where chosen ones can discover support, encouragement, and understanding. By becoming a part of this sanctuary, you'll connect with others who are also navigating this distinct path. Before we part ways, I want to leave you with one final thought. Being chosen isn't always easy, but it is a blessing. It signifies that you've been set apart for a special purpose, and even when the road is challenging, you are never alone. God is with you every step of the way, guiding you and enveloping you in His love. Recall the words of Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Embrace these words and let them be your source of comfort and strength. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope you found encouragement and insight. Until next time, continue walking your path with faith, knowing that you are chosen, loved, and never alone.